Listen carefully. Right now, she's smiling at you across the dinner table, but her phone buzzed 3 minutes ago, and that little flash in her eyes wasn't for you. Thousands of men over 50 are living this exact nightmare without even realizing it. Tonight, I'm pulling back the curtain on 7 hidden signs she's already involved with another man. But before I reveal them, prove you're ready for the truth. Hit subscribe, smash that like button, and tell me in the comments what city you're watching from. I want to see just how far this betrayal has spread across the world. Sign number 1. The phone isn't just a phone anymore. You've probably noticed it. That little rectangle in her hand has become more important than anything you say. It's not just a phone anymore. It's her lifeline, her private world, her secret doorway to him. Watch closely. She doesn't set it down the way she used to. Instead, it's face down on the table, screen hidden from your eyes. She carries it into the bathroom, into the kitchen, even into the shower. Ask yourself, since when did a 5-minute shower require Spotify, TikTok, and 20 unread work messages? Here's the truth no one wants to admit. The man she's already involved with isn't standing in your driveway with flowers. He's living inside that phone. Every buzz makes her heart leap, not because it's you, but because it might be him. Look at her face the next time it vibrates. That quick spark of excitement, then the flicker of disappointment when it's only a group chat or a reminder. That's the giveaway. And she thinks she's clever. She angles the screen so you can't see. She types quickly, deletes, retypes. She says, it's just work. Yet the glow on her face tells you otherwise. Work emails don't make women giggle under their breath. Slack notifications don't deserve a smile so warm it could melt glass. Here's the dirty little detail most men miss. She doesn't just hide messages. She hides entire conversations, archiving chats so her screen looks clean, saving his number under a woman's name, or pretending it's her cousin messaging late at night. Meanwhile, you're applauding yourself for being trusting. That's not trust, it's blindness she's trained you into. Pay attention when she guards her phone like a bodyguard. When the battery's dead, she panics. When you walk into the room, she flips it upside down so fast you'd think she was hiding state secrets. You aren't the interruption in her day. You're the interruption in her real relationship, the one humming inside that device. But if you think her secret world on her phone is the cruelest sign, brace yourself. Because the next one doesn't hide behind a screen. It lashes out at you directly and leaves you questioning your sanity. Sign number 2, anger out of nowhere. At first it feels random. A simple question, what time will you be home? And suddenly she's biting your head off like you accused her of a crime. That sharp tone, that exaggerated sigh, that flash of irritation over nothing at all. This isn't normal stress or a bad mood. This is redirected guilt. She's already involved with someone else, and every innocent question you ask feels like a spotlight on her secret. Notice the pattern. Her anger is always disproportionate. You ask if she enjoyed her gym class, and she snaps, "Why are you interrogating me?" You wonder why she got home late from work, and she hisses, "Don't you trust me?" It's not about your words, it's about her conscience. The truth is simmering inside her, and the easiest way to protect it is to make you feel like the problem. Here's the gossip-style detail. Maybe her coworker, Mike, stayed late with her on a project, and the harmless text she sent him turned into something more. By the time she walks in the door, her nerves are fried. Not from work, but from juggling the story she'll tell you. When you casually ask how her evening went, her mind scrambles. The irritation she throws at you is her defense mechanism. Psychologists call this projection. Instead of facing her own guilt, she accuses you of paranoia, control, or insecurity. It's brilliant in its cruelty, because after a few rounds of this, you start second-guessing yourself. You stop asking questions. You stop noticing the obvious. And that's exactly what she wants. The scariest part. The anger never stays isolated. It starts spreading into everything. Your conversations, your routines, your intimacy. She builds a wall of hostility so you stop trying to climb over it. That distance gives her the space she needs to keep the other man in her life. But as brutal as sudden anger can be, it's only the smoke. The real fire shows up when she begins to shine again. Not because of you, but because of him. And that glow, it's the next sign, and it's even more dangerous. Sign number 3, a glow that isn't yours. You've seen this before. A sudden brightness in her face, a spark in her step, a new energy you can't quite place. At first, you might think she's just focusing on herself again. Maybe she's eating healthier, working out, or treating herself to new clothes. But here's the brutal truth. Women rarely transform out of nowhere without a catalyst. And if that glow isn't directed at you, it's a dangerous sign it's coming from another man. Watch the details. She buys a new dress, but it never makes an appearance on your date nights. She invests in makeup she never wears at home. She starts heading to the gym earlier, staying later, showering the second she gets back. And when you compliment her, the response is flat, almost dismissive. Why? Because the validation she's craving isn't from you. It's from him. Here's the gossip-style clue. She's got work drinks on Thursday. You picture her with colleagues over wine, but the dress she wears was chosen for one pair of eyes. Or she claims she needs a confidence boost. But the secret is, she's already rehearsing how it feels when that other man notices her transformation. You're standing there watching her evolve, yet you're not the audience she's performing for. The psychology behind this is cruel but predictable. New romantic energy lights up the brain like a drug. It gives her a youthful glow, a sudden motivation to improve herself. She looks younger, happier, almost reborn. But instead of that joy spilling over into your relationship, it bypasses you completely. You see the glow, but you don't receive the warmth. And here's the dagger. When you finally ask, "Who are you getting dressed up for?" she'll laugh it off, roll her eyes, maybe even call you paranoid. But the truth is written in every hair appointment, every new outfit, every mirror selfie she never shares with you. Still, as painful as that glow may be, it's only the surface. Because when night falls and you're in the same bed together, the real betrayal begins. And it's not what she's wearing, but where her mind is. That's the next sign. Sign number 4, the ghost in your bed. There's a special kind of silence that creeps into the bedroom when her heart has already gone elsewhere. She's lying next to you, but you feel it, that invisible wall between her body and her soul. She's still in your bed, still going through the motions, but the truth is chilling. You're with a ghost. At first, it's subtle. She closes her eyes during intimacy and keeps them shut too tightly. You might think it's passion. In reality, it's escape. She's blocking you out to make room for someone else in her mind. The face she imagines isn't yours, it's his. Pay attention to the little shifts. She used to melt into your touch, pulling you closer, whispering in your ear. Now her kisses feel mechanical. Her hands limp at her sides. And when you try to catch her eyes mid-moment, she turns away, annoyed, as if your presence is an interruption. That's not connection, it's distraction. Here's the gossip detail. She claims she's tired, stressed, or not in the mood. But when she does engage, her performance suddenly changes. Louder moans, exaggerated movements, almost scripted reactions. It feels like she's putting on a show. And she is. Because genuine passion doesn't follow a script. Real intimacy is unpredictable, messy, and raw. Performance, on the other hand, is neat, timed and carefully delivered to hide the truth. Her mind is somewhere else. And the cruelest part? You might believe she's actually more into you than ever. That's the trap. Theatrical passion is her way of covering the absence of real desire. Every sound, every arch of her back, is less about you and more about convincing herself, and you, that nothing's wrong. Meanwhile, her true emotions are reserved for the fantasy playing behind her closed eyes. The psychology here is devastating. Humans can fake enthusiasm, but they can't fake emotional presence. If her body is with you, but her mind is replaying his voice, his touch, his compliments, then you're not making love. You're standing in as a placeholder in her private movie. But ghosts don't just haunt the night. They slip into her words, her stories, her explanations. And when she starts talking too much, giving you more details than you ever asked for. That's the next sign, and it cuts deeper than silence. Sign number 5. The over-explainer. Truth hides in silence, but lies drown in details. When a woman is already involved with another man, her stories begin to change. Not because they're shorter, but because they're suddenly too long. She over-explains, tossing in every unnecessary fact to make her version airtight. And ironically, it's those extra words that give her away. Picture this. You ask why she's late coming home. Instead of a simple, "Traffic was awful," she launches into a saga. She tells you which radio station was playing, which store she passed, how long she waited at the red light, and what she ordered at Starbucks. You didn't ask for the director's cut, but she's giving you the extended edition. Why? Because she's layering a lie with so many harmless truths that the core of it slips past unnoticed. Here's the gossip-style giveaway. She swears she was at Target, and she rattles off the aisle she walked through, the items she browsed, the cashier's hair color. But when you look in the trunk, there's no shopping bag. That's because Target wasn't the destination. It was the alibi. The psychology is simple yet cruel. Liars overshare because they're not just trying to convince you, they're trying to convince themselves. The details act like padding, cushioning the guilt. But the story ends up sounding rehearsed, almost too perfect. When someone tells the truth, their answers are short, messy, and unpolished. When someone lies, their answers are dressed up in glitter to distract from the emptiness inside. Over-explaining also works as a weapon. If you dare to question her, she buries you in details until you feel foolish for doubting her. She wants you exhausted by the avalanche of words, so you'll stop digging. But there's a darker twist. Sometimes, the details she offers aren't even consistent. If you ask her the same question later, she'll tweak the story, forgetting which drink she supposedly bought or which errand she described. And that tiny slip is the crack in the armor. Still, as sneaky as over-explaining can be, it's nothing compared to what happens when her circle joins the cover-up. Because when her friends become her alibis, the game changes entirely. That's the next sign. Sign number 6, friends as alibis. When a woman is already involved with another man, she knows her excuses have to evolve. One of the oldest tricks in the book, and one of the hardest for men to challenge, is using her friends as living, breathing alibis. And here's the truth. Sometimes the friends are complicit, but more often, they're clueless props in her story. She tells you she's going to girls' night. She throws out a name, Emily, Sarah, Jessica, and you let it go. Because why would you doubt it? But here's the gossip detail. While she's supposedly drinking wine with Emily, Emily is actually posting Netflix screenshots from her couch on Instagram. Meanwhile, your wife is somewhere else entirely, and you're none the wiser. The psychology here is ruthless. She knows you don't want to look like the insecure, jealous husband who questions her friendships. So she hides behind them. "I was with Lisa," she'll say casually, with just enough confidence to make you doubt yourself. And the worst part? If you ever push, she flips it on you. "What? Now I can't see my friends? You don't trust me?" Suddenly, you're the bad guy just for asking. Pay attention to the vagueness. She'll give you the name of the friend, but never clear details. "We went out." "Where?" "Just downtown." "Doing what?" "Just talking." That fog isn't an accident, it's camouflage. The less detail she provides, the harder it is to catch the inconsistencies. And if you ask for more, she accuses you of prying. Another clue, sudden surges in social plans. Women who once preferred quiet nights at home suddenly have back-to-back girls' nights, birthday dinners, or last-minute meetups. But you never see pictures, you're never invited, and there's always just enough distance to keep you out. And here's the dirtiest part. Sometimes she really does meet her friends, but only for an hour. That short visit provides just enough truth to cover the lie. She takes a selfie, checks the box, then slips away to spend time where she truly wants to be. But as dangerous as alibis are, they're just the setup. The real betrayal cuts deeper because it changes the entire narrative of your relationship. The final sign isn't about her excuses. It's about how she rewrites the story and casts you as the villain. Sign number 7. Suddenly, you are the villain. Here's the cruelest twist of all. When she's already involved with another man, she doesn't just hide it. She rewrites the story so that you become the problem. It starts small, with nitpicking. Suddenly, the way you load the dishwasher is wrong, or the shirt you've worn for years is embarrassing. But it doesn't stop there. Those tiny jabs build into something bigger, a narrative where she's the victim and you're the villain. Notice the shift in tone. She compares you to other men with a casual cruelty. David at work always listens. Or, why can't you be more like Mark? He actually dresses well. These aren't suggestions, they're daggers. Each comparison is a glimpse into the man she's truly invested in, the one whose image she's now holding up against you. Here's the gossip detail. She'll gush about how Michael from accounting has such a great sense of humor, slipping his name into conversations just to see how it feels rolling off her tongue. And when you react, she turns it back on you. Why are you so insecure? He's just a friend. That deflection is deliberate. By making you feel small, paranoid, or unreasonable, she protects her secret connection while eroding your confidence. The psychology is brutal. Affairs require justification. Few women can admit to themselves that they're betraying someone they once loved. So the mind creates a story. I wouldn't be looking elsewhere if he weren't so boring, controlling, inattentive. It's a self-defense mechanism that becomes a weapon against you, and once that script takes hold, you'll find yourself arguing about things that never used to matter. You try to defend yourself, but she twists every word. What used to be normal curiosity, "Who are you texting?" is now branded as jealousy, control, even emotional abuse. She reframes your attempts at connection as attacks. That's when the ground shifts beneath you. You stop trusting your instincts. You stop standing your ground. And in that silence, her double life flourishes. See you in the next video.